Yeah, it reminds me a bit of the dot-com boom. I was actually in New York City. I've been hired at the tender age of 27 to be the CFO of a dot-com startup called LuxuryFinder.com. We were selling private jets online, got about 15 million of funding, a couple of very famous investors in New York City. And we rode the wave right up. And I was out with my banker buddies out on the town telling them this was Columbus in the New World. And they were all looking at me, rolling their eyes. And of course, in 2000, everything crashed. But and of course, I've heard you reference this before. There was pets.com and petstore.com and all these iterations. Now, the market went up in value and down in value, but the underlying technology never lost its purpose, right? That was still incredible. And that kept developing. It's just the asset prices overshot and then definitely came back and undershot. But fast forward 10, 20 years, that technology has fundamentally changed who we are as humans. You're saying this is a very similar analogy to that?
So let me actually give you some data to support exactly what you just said. When pets.com failed in 2000, there was about 350 users of e-commerce. Pets.com did not fail because people didn't want to buy pet supplies online. Pets.com failed because people didn't want to buy pet supplies using dial-up modems to connect with the website. They didn't want to wait 3 weeks for the pet supplies to arrive because the delivery infrastructure wasn't there. And they didn't want to pay ridiculous valuations for companies like pets.com. Within 10 years, by the year 2010, there were 2 billion users of e-commerce. And by then, Amazon had arrived on the scene selling books and eBay had arrived. And by 2020, there are now over 6 billion users of e-commerce online. And it's driven stock market valuations and others. E-commerce is part of our lives, but it took 20 years for the infrastructure to build out. The promise of e-commerce, the valuation of e-commerce had gotten far ahead of the underlying infrastructure, the mature players, the disciplined players in the market, and sensible valuation. So the promise had gotten ahead of the reality. And I think we've seen the same thing with digital assets and crypto. The promise of an architecture that's not based upon accounts kept at proprietary institutions of where value is, but value established on the internet through protocols and protocols like crypto protocols like Bitcoin or ETH and others, and distributed ledger technology. It really hasn't yet built itself out. So this is very much your analogy, Brian, exactly spot on.
It's funny, I remember in my dot-com startup days, funny enough, some founders talking about railroad stocks, fascinatingly enough, because I think we saw a lot of fiber being laid at that time, especially in New York City, and they were making these similar analogies like it was a big boom, and they were talking about how most of these railroads went bankrupt, and the analogies were very similar. And look, you and I worked on Wall Street for decades, and we saw this centralization problem occur many, many times. Of course, Bernie Madoff is a good example, but we've seen it where a small amount of people have power. They do things that they shouldn't be doing. Enron, maybe mortgage crisis, maybe Madoff, but go back every 10 years and you'll find something on Wall Street. And this was another one of those. DeFi definitely didn't fail, and we can talk about that. And then the underlying tech itself is maybe tainted by FTX, but nothing's changed. It potentially is a superior technology, and you think it will prevail in time.
I'm certain it will. To think that somehow the internet will not do to finance and banking and money itself what it's done to retail shopping, social networking, entertainment, leisure, travel, communications, but to transform those from systems that operated through proprietary rails owned by firms to an internet basis is the same thing is going to happen. Now, will it happen in a revolution all at once? No. There are still corner shops you can shop in alongside e-commerce outlets. And in the same way, bank-based finance is not going to go away, but a new form of value, establishing value and who holds value and who transfers value to whom using distributed ledger technology on either wide open internets or closed nets is absolutely the direction that the future is pointing us in.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline. I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up. If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?